Hi, I'm David at OM System and welcome to this quick tutorial on the OM-5's in-camera focus stacking feature. Now, if you love macro photography but you've struggled to get great focus through the depth of your images, then this feature is going to be your new best friend. In-camera focus stacking allows you to take up to 8 shots at different points of focus throughout the depth of your subject and then puts them all together to create a much greater depth of field in one singular image. And today in this video, we're going to have a quick look at how to set it up, what those settings mean, and how to start taking some really nice high depth macro photography. Now, once you've got your compatible lens on your camera, you can switch it on and then we're going to press menu and start setting this up. So the first thing we'll do is press the menu key to get into the menu, and then on the left hand side go down to camera menu 2 and scroll down to the bracketing options. In here there'll be an on option with a further right arrow which we can press right to go into, and scroll all the way down to the focus BKT options and do the same thing again with this on button as well. Now in here you'll have 4 options and you may not need to set all of them up, but we'll take a look at them in detail for each one. The first option at the top is the focus stacking option. Now if this says off, then when you switch bracketing back on, this option will only create a bracketing option. It won't create any in-camera stacks. That means it'll just take separate images and you'll need to deal with those in post-production. But if you select on for focus stacking, then the camera is going to physically put all those images together and give you a final stacked image. The next option here is the set number of shots. This is the number of shots the camera is going to take across various focal points within the depth of your subject, and you can choose anywhere between 3 and 8 shots. Your third option is the focus differential. This is simply the spacing distance between each focused point that the camera will take. Now the focus differential doesn't have a specific guideline to it, and it can vary depending on the lens you're using and the aperture rating that you're using as well, plus the distance from the lens to the subject. But if you're using something like the 60mm macro at 1:1, then a good focus differential to use will always be around 5, which is in the middle. If you're taking many more images with focus bracketing, you'll reduce that focus differential to 4, 3, 2, or perhaps even 1 to create very narrow jumps between each focused photograph. And then the final option in here is the flash charge time. Now if you're using an Olympus or an OM system flash, you don't need to worry about this. The system talks to itself and they know what to do with each other. But if you are using a third-party flash, you may need to set a charge time to allow the camera to wait between images to recycle the flash's power. Now once that's done, you'll press the menu button to go back and make sure you press OK on the on option for focus BKT. Now that that's all set up, you can go back to your live view on your rear screen or in the viewfinder, and you should see a little icon that says BKT at the top of the screen. That means that your next shot is going to be either a bracketed or focus stacked shot, whichever one you selected there within the menu. Now the really key thing to remember when you move forward from here is where to place your initial focus point. The first focus point that you place, whether that be via manual focus or via autofocus, should always be around 40 to 50% into the depth of your subject. The camera is then going to take an image at that point, a couple of images closer towards you, and then the rest of the stack further away from you before putting them all together in one final image, which will be a JPEG. Now a couple of final key points. If you are taking images of insects, then a good place to start in terms of the focusing point will always be the eyes. And then once the camera has finished taking those images, it'll be displaying a screen that says busy, and at that point you can move your camera. You don't need to stay still any longer. The focus stacking in camera can be used handheld or it can be used on a tripod. If you're using a flash, however, then you will need to probably put it on a tripod to be able to stay still long enough for that flash time to recycle. Now, whilst this is a very quick introduction to this feature on your OM-5, macro photography can be very, very intense and challenging. So we've got lots of other videos out there to help you. Don't forget to check out those videos on our YouTube channel, subscribe for notifications when we upload new ones and go live. But for now, this tutorial is finished and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.